Hi all, welcome to my page. This book is called Sylvester Bear Overslept, written by Jan Wall and pictures by Lee Lorenz. The sky was silver, yellow, orange, maple leaves were falling. Winter would soon be here. At the edge of the woods, in a cozy cottage, lived Sylvester Bear and his wife, Phyllis. Sylvester was in the apple tree, shaking apples. "Soon it will be time for our winter nap," said Phyllis. "I know, but before we sleep, we must eat," said Sylvester. They carried the apples into the kitchen where Sylvester peeled and cored them. Phyllis rolled out dough and shook sugar and cinnamon and a pinch of salt over the apples. In an hour or two, they had baked 35 pies. Together, they ate all 35. Phyllis watched the clock. "It's getting late, Sylvester." "I know," he replied. He gave her a hug, and she gave him one. Then they said their prayers and climbed into bed. They lay there counting bees making honey. After almost a week, Sylvester counted 40,000 bees. Phyllis was already asleep, snoring. He sighed. "Her snoring gets louder and louder every year. If I don't get to sleep first, I have to hear her snore." For another week, he listened to it. He tied stockings on his ears. He paced back and forth. He went to the kitchen and made parsnip pancakes. He drank hot milk and read. Nothing helped. She kept snoring louder and louder. Outside, snowflakes blew. Phyllis's snores made the curtains ripple and the clock dance. Sylvester shook her. "If you don't stop snoring, I can't sleep," he moaned. "If you don't stop shaking me, I can't sleep," she groaned, but fell asleep anyway. Weeks later, Phyllis was still snoring. Finally, he wrote a note. "Dear, you snore too loud. I will sleep somewhere else, but I'll be back in the spring. Love, Sylvester." With bags under his eyes and a pillow in his paw, Sylvester staggered off into the woods. Snow was piling high. He found a hollow oak filled with soft leaves, and he climbed in. Finally, it was quiet. The only sound he heard was the sound of the wind. Sylvester had such a good sleep. He slept right through spring. Violets and skunk cabbage grew. Noisy rabbits played outside that oak, but Sylvester kept sleeping. Finally, the air grew warm and flowers came into bloom. Phyllis woke up and saw that he was not in bed. "Oh, he must be making coffee," she guessed. However, no one was in the kitchen, nor under the bed, nor in the basement, nor in the attic. No Sylvester anywhere. Then she found his note. She sat down on the front step, wondering what to do. Somehow she had to find him. Sylvester slept on through the summer. Then one day a woodsman began sawing down the oak in which Sylvester was sleeping. It fell to the ground with a thud. Sylvester woke up and looked out. "What are you doing? What time is it?" he asked. "Still half asleep? I'm chopping down trees. It's 3 o'clock on a beautiful fall day," the woodsman answered. "Oh my goodness," Sylvester cried. "I slept right through spring and summer. Phyllis will be worried. I must get home at once." And he ran off through the woods. By evening he was home. Tall purple foxglove and goldenrod grew all around the empty cottage. Inside, among the soot, dust, and cobwebs, Sylvester found a note from Phyllis. "Where are you? I waited and waited. Now I'm going out to find you. Love, Phyllis." "I must find her at once." So Sylvester got on his bike and rode off in search of Phyllis. In the distance, he could hear the woodsman sawing wood, and it sounded so good. It made him think of Phyllis's snoring. "If only I could hear her snoring once again," he sighed. He picked berries, and he saw her face on each berry. He fished and saw Phyllis's face in the water. As he was eating, he cried, "Phyllis, if you were here, it would taste better." He rode into town. He saw a poster for the circus. He was still sad. "Maybe the clowns could cheer me up," he thought. He bought a ticket and walked in. He sat in the first row to be close to the ring. The first act was the clowns. They made Sylvester laugh. The next act was Rosita, the Spanish dancer. She danced around the ring. Suddenly she stopped in front of Sylvester. She gave him a big hug. "Get away from me, you silly bear," he cried, pushing her away. "Sylvester!" she yelled. She took off her wig and false eyelashes. "Phyllis!" he shouted. They hugged each other. They sat down outside her wagon. "I decided to join the traveling circus, hoping to find you," she told him. Sylvester told her about how he had overslept in the oak and spent months looking for her. "That's okay," she said. "You can sleep as long as you want, and I won't mind your snoring," Sylvester replied. They went home. That winter, Phyllis snored louder than ever. But Sylvester was so glad to have her back, he just smiled as he fell asleep. Her snoring was music to his ears. Thank you all for listening to me read this book. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like it, leave a comment, and please subscribe to my channel down below. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.